Well, the time is just gone 7 minutes past 4 p.m. as we kick off this morning or this afternoon, rather, with the iftar drive. And we are now going across to the South African Prisoners Organization for Human Rights. We're talking to Brother Golden Miles Bhudu. Alhamdulillah, he recently reverted to Islam. And at the time of his reversion, Alhamdulillah, I had the opportunity of doing an interview with Brother Golden Miles Bhudu, Alhamdulillah. And it's my pleasure to welcome him once again to the show. Brother Golden Miles, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Malaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam alaikum. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
wa alaikum salam. I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm quiet. I'm quiet, very quiet at home.
Yes, enjoying the month of Ramadan.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Alhamdulillah. Well, wonderful you're able to join us this afternoon. Now, I know the South African Prisoners Organization for Human Rights has expressed huge concerns with regard to the escape of a convicted rapist and a murderer. And you are saying that there have been other parties that have been involved in this escape, and this is the reason why you are calling on the Justice and Correctional Services Minister, Ronald Lamola, to remove these people from their positions.
And he's the first one that must be fired. And if he had decency and respect our democracy that was so hard earned, he should be the first one that was going to just say that he's resigning because of this horror movie, which has in fact made our correctional system in this country a joke of the earth. Okay, but that would never happen because some of them were deployed with the intention to go there, live a good, smooth and very fast life at the expenses of the masses of the people of this country. You know, I said on behalf of the organization, him and everybody else under him, right up to the guy that man the main entrance at Mangaung G4S prison, should be fired. And when an independent investigation from investigators abroad, particularly from Britain, because this prison is run along the lines of the British penal system. If they investigate and get to the bottom of this, and none of them are implicated, that they be rehired and repaid, and there must be an apology for having fired them or having asked them to resign. But that will never, ever happen in this country because we are all in denialism that this country is not only a mafia state, it is in fact a criminal state, and we are overseeing and superseding a criminal state without us even knowing about it. And if we know about it, we are in denialism.
Well, I think what is important in what you are saying is, this is a criminal state, and looking at how serious the situation has been, particularly with regard to the person who had escaped, and he has been dubbed the Facebook rapist, Thabo Bester. This is a person who is a murderer and a convicted rapist, and it's not acceptable that someone, a criminal of this dangerous caliber, is allowed to escape in the manner that he did.
Let's quickly unfold and strip naked who Thabo Bester is. He was sentenced to life and 75 years that must run concurrently for rape, for murder, one murder, fraud, and extortion. This is the guy we're talking about. And he was taken to a prison, one of the best prisons, we are told, in this country. There are two of these prisons. There's another one in Limpopo called Tama Sentimule, run along the lines of the United States penal system. This prison cost the taxpayers' money 1 billion rands a year. And this prison and the other prison in Kutama Sentimulo signed a 25-year lease. And this lease, as we read between the lines, we were totally against these two private prisons when it started almost 20 years ago. That this was nothing else but creating a platform for fat cats, black economic empowerment, greedy individuals who are politically connected. That is, in fact, why we shot this thing down 20 years ago, but it never happened. Now we have come to a situation where we're told that per day, one prisoner at Kutama Sentimole, the state pays 412 rands for medical attention, for feeding the person, for clothing this person, and so forth. And in G4 Manga Home, it's 435 rands a day per prisoner. And in the normal Department of Correctional Services, it's 385 rands a day to manage prisoners. Now you can see this is just, monies that is invested into a bottomless pit and to feed on the greed of people who are in very strategic places. And nobody will tell us that Temba best to jump over a fence at Mangaung, because you can't. Those fences are electrified. There are CCTV cameras at each and every corner, in the passages, the corridors, in the sections, in the cells. You are virtually sitting in a toilet and there is a close CCTV camera that is watching you. So this came as a network of people in very, very high places. And we are also told, in reports inform us that two highly placed politicians are also involved in this thing with some correctional officers in and outside maximum Manga Home G4S. And that investigation cannot be left in the hands of people in this country. We will never get to the truth. We have called this investigation in order for the Britain penal system to get their bruised image via this particular matter repaired. They must talk in terms of getting the Secret Intelligence Service, the SIS, and the M16 to come here and investigate this drama or this horror movie.
Well, it certainly is a horror movie, because what we've also learned is in 2022, it was reported that he had committed suicide, set himself on fire and died, and emerged 9 months later, Golden Miles.
Well, this is so well organized, but there isn't a perfect crime, let alone a perfect murder. What we can do now, and we have been doing this, besides calling for the murderer to be sacked and all the other people next to him, we are calling on both the girlfriend or his fiancée, Nandipa Makutumana, which I'm told is also a person who is connected with other people with big pockets, that they hand themselves over, because we are told he's harboring him, and she was also involved in adding and uploading this Hollywood type of film, that they hand themselves over to the nearest law enforcement officers before it is too late, because the net is closing on them. And when they hand themselves over, they must also plea and request for a plea bargaining, so that they open the floodgates, and they will be under mitigating circumstances. One day, when justice is done, they will be taken into consideration in terms of them being cooperative. They gave some Americans, so to speak, and the matter was resolved amicably, and everybody then would understand what really happened this particular day when he was declared dead, he committed suicide, and yet the man was involved in the biggest jailbreak ever heard in this country.
Yes, Yes, Golden Miles, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to play out a few ads and we'll come back. And I just got one or two other issues just to raise with you before we terminate the interview. So if you could just bear with us and let us just go for a quick ad break.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Do you want to make a real impact this Ramadan? Donate your zakah to Ashraful Aid. Your zakah can help feed an orphan, support a widow, build a home for a refugee family, sponsor a HIF student, and much more. With Ashraful Aid, you can make a real difference. Visit our website at www.ashrafulaid.org to make a donation. Make your Ramadan meaningful with Ashraful Aid.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
The Prophet ﷺ has said, none of you will have faith that he wishes for his brother what he likes for himself. For thousands of our ummah, wishes are simple needs that we can fulfill. Dates, bread and clean water for suhoor and iftar. Africa. Join Africa Muslims Agency's wish campaign this Ramadan to feed the fasting for 100 rands per day, provide a grocery hamper for 1,500 rands per month, and feed a village or camp for 16,000 rands per day. Fulfill the wishes of families in need across the world this Ramadan with AMA. Call AMA now on 011-834-8685 or donate at africamuslimsagency.co.za. Africa Muslims Agency, empowering, educating, inspiring.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain developing company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
At Sentio, our Invest for Good philosophy is based on a genuine desire to use our investment skills for the benefit of broader society by investing responsibly, giving charitably, and developing talent that will transform the investment industry. Visit www.sentio-capital.com for more information about our Sharia investment products and start saving with us today. Sentio Capital. Invest for good. Sentio Capital Management is an authorized financial services provider.
You are listening to Salam Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salam Media, keeping you company this.
The time is just gone, 21 minutes past 4 p.m. as we continue this afternoon with the iftar drive with myself, Inayet, and we started off taking a look at talking with Golden Mouse Bhudu about this bizarre situation as far as the escape of a dangerous murderer and a rapist, Thabo Bester, who had escaped from the prison in Mangaung, a private prison. This is in partnership with the Department of Correctional Services. And Golden Mouse Bhudu is saying that, this situation is definitely not acceptable, but more importantly, this is a deal that was struck with the government. And the key issue here is what sort of oversight role does the Department of Correctional Services have over these privately run prisons? And still on the line with us is Golden Miles Bhudu. Golden Miles, assalamu alaikum once again, and we thank you for holding on.
Look, the minister's silence is deafening. He hasn't said a word, whether it is on broadcast media, social media, print or electronic media. He hasn't said a word. Then is proved beyond the reason of the doubt that he never had a clue what is happening in this department. And he never wanted even to learn by the job. He was planted there, was deployed there because of political shenanigans. Okay? And we are also calling that the contract with government that must be terminated. It should have been terminated immediately after the scandal broke, because it is not the first time that this prison come into loggerheads with correctional officers works there, coming to loggerheads with prisoners who are doing lengthy time. I mean, there was a time where the Department of Correctional Services withdrew the contract for a period of 10 months and was administered strictly by the Department of Correctional Services, and then thereafter, after 10 months, the contract was given back to them. They should have terminated the contract there and there 2 years ago. And we are also calling that this front called the Judicial Inspectorate on Correctional Services that was established, legislated with the intention to use it as a shield against people like organizations like us and other interested organizations who are not aligned to the government and the Department of Correctional Services, that this front called the Judicial Inspectorate of Correctional Services, headed by Justice Edwin Cameron, who is a retired constitutional judge, that this organization must be dismantled. It must start over again and it must come back to be called something else. Because they send every day independent prison visitors, who are now called independent correctional center visitors. They are independent, we are told, the visitors, to go and inspect these prisons throughout the country, look into human rights abuses, and immediately pick up stuff like this that has hit the headlines. But that did not happen because they are birds of the same feathers, okay? And as an organization, we are very aggrieved because we don't even know who is the person that is planted in that single cell. How did that corpse get into prison? And nobody knows nothing about it. And it's almost two years. And this is how well met with this whole criminal movie was scripted and implemented. And nobody must tell me that everybody doesn't know nothing about anything, from the guy that managed the gate, that managed the sections, that managed even the prison there. All of them must be called to order and must be fired with immediate effect. And then in investigation, as I said, must start all over again. And if they are cleared accordingly, then they can be reinstated someday. But this prison, the contract must be immediately terminated, and the minister must go.
Well, definitely. And also, I think I've seen a few reports come through as well with regard to certain lawyers that are talking about, legal challenges to this entire thing, because at the end of the day, it's about the minister. But again, legally, what can be basically be done? I think, again, this is with the Ronald Lamola. He's got to accept responsibility. The buck stops right at the top, but also taking a closer look at, like you mentioned, how these prisons are actually run. These contracts are not cast in stone. They can be terminated. So if the service provider, like G4S, is not doing his job, it can be terminated without any problems. And this is exactly what you're saying. But more importantly, it's about the safety of the country. And we've learned that Bester has since escaped from prison, that he could have possibly committed another murder. Now, this is another concern, and just how much more will this we be able to take as a country when we have convicted murderers and rapists walking free and just doing as they please, Golden Mile.
Well, I won't be surprised if he has already left the country with his lover or his fiancée, because this
I think we have lost Golden Mile Bhudu there, but nevertheless, we have got. Oh, there we go. Sorry, we lost you.
Can you hear me now? Am I still there? Hello.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, look, we won't be surprised if he's already
Yes, you are.
the country. Well, we won't be surprised if he and the lover of the fiancé has already skip the country. Can you hear me? Hello? Are you still there?
Yes, I can.
You must have heard of Bishop.
Yes, I can.
The Bishop, the case. You must have heard of that bishop that left the country, came into the country, is in and out of the country. I won't be surprised if Thabo Bester has already skipped the country. Are you still there? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
Golden Mouse, you can proceed. Yes.
I am saying I won't be surprised if he's already out of the country. Are you still there? Hello? Hello?
Allah